Hi everybody. Last year I did a video about my assessment binder, and this year I decided to do a video on my teacher binder. So here's my teacher binder. It has my daily schedule in the front because our schedule changes every year, and so it's nice to have it like in a spot where I can really see it until it's fixed in my mind, and then I usually put something else on the cover. So on the first pocket is always kind of my to-do pile. It's like, you know, high priority stuff. And then the first few pages are just regular loose leaf paper that I use for taking notes to myself. I have my district's calendar, which usually ends up on the cover eventually. I have my year at a glance. And the year at a glance, each page is a quarter. And you can kind of see that first quarter is like super detailed. But as we get into the year, it starts looking kind of blankish. And that's because, you know, things do change and stuff gets pushed back and moved around. But I find it's nice to have sort of the whole year mapped out, kind of the big picture. And these are language arts standards by the quarter. And again, lots of lists of things to do and post-it notes, and then plenty of blank paper. You can always use that in a staff meeting. So my first page is my week at a glance. Now my first 7 days, I always do the same. And so it's written out, just with lots and lots of detail, but there's just sort of a routine that I've gotten into of things that I really like to do on each of the 7 days. I call it the launching of the year. And it's like a lot of modeling, as teachers know. But eventually, we get to this format. And this is the week at a glance form. And I create this form myself every year. And the reason I like doing that is because I can make the size of the boxes as big or as small as I want. And there are certain things that I want to write down that are going to be the same every week. And so I don't want to have to write those down. So I have really tiny sections for things like lunch and recess and snack and specials, but bigger ones for the academic blocks. And it's an entire week onto a spread of 2 pages. And I usually have the 9 weeks of a quarter in here at a time. Then I have a section on English language arts. I have a cafe menu. I have a couple of different versions. That's the sister's version. That's my version. Just sort of, again, a year at a glance in terms of writing, just various notes and things that I need. And then I also usually have something in math, usually not quite as much. Our math units are really spelled out for us, so there's not a whole lot of teacher creativity. And then finally, my science or social studies unit that I'm currently teaching, and always has a very similar format. In this case, I don't have the standards because we can't really, these are a new unit for us, so we can't really agree on what standards we're addressing when. That'll be something we'll decide as a team. But I do put the resources, the essential question, the scope and sequence of the lesson, including homework. And this is actually the entire year. And this is our UBD planning template for that unit. And then the end is just other information, stuff that I get at staff meetings that I feel is important to put in there. And the final folder is also things that are important. I find with my binder, it's best to keep it as small as possible. This is a 1-inch binder. I've had this forever. This brand really holds up. But it's even better if I can get a 1/2 inch one, because it's one of those things, the bigger it is, the more you're going to stuff it with stuff. And the idea is it's supposed to be something that's pretty portable. So I hope you've enjoyed this little tour of my teacher binder. And if you have any comments, I'd love to hear them. Thanks. Bye.